introduce myself. My name is John Robinson. I am the Scoutmaster of Troop 70s, Boy Scouts of America, here in Tuskegee, Alabama. We are sponsored by Tuskegee University, and we're also co-sponsored by Washington Chapel Church, and this is where we meet. Not in this room, but over in the parish house. And we meet there every Tuesday at 6:30. And we've got quite a good number of guys now. They're looking very good. They got their uniforms on, and this is a formal event. And for those of you that are not familiar with what a court of honor is, it's just that when we get together and have a event like this in uniform, and we do some things by a program like this, and it's this is kind of formal, and we invite our friends and relatives and family to just celebrate the accomplishments of the young men. Now, they've been toiling and striving for at least a couple of years, some of them, and they've earned a variety of merit badges and rank. And it's all detailed in the program. And it's probably pretty foreign to everybody here, but I just want to kind of give you an overview so you kind of know what you're looking at. We're just going to go ahead and follow the program from here. If everybody would just stand at this time, we're going to do that. Scout stand up. Scout sign. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. This time we'd like to open every event that we have. We try and open up with a prayer. And normally I can do a prayer off the cuff, but I think what I want to do here is just involve everybody, and if we could just bow our heads and recite the Lord's Prayer, I think that would be most appropriate. Bow our heads, please. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, which we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, power, forever. Amen. All right, thank you very much. I guess at this time we'd like to do our awards presentation. As you look at the program, first scout that's listed is alphabetical. No real order there. We've got probably some older scouts ahead of some younger scouts, but we just put it in alphabetical order. Devon, would you please stand? This is Devon Dennis, everybody. He has been with the troop about a year now, and he's participated in summer camp this past summer at Camp Tuskegee up in Pine Level, Alabama. He got used to the woods, slept under the stars, did a lot of good stuff, got bit by a lot of bugs. But I find that Devon is a young man that I pick him up sometimes to come to Scout Meeting, and we have a conversation. He's very mannerable. I give him A+. He's probably the most mannerable of the scouts. And all of them have different qualities, but he's very polite, very mannerable, and conducts himself very well, like he's got some home training, and I think he does. So Devon has earned the tenderfoot rank, which is the first rank in scouting, and he's on his way, I think, to bigger and better things. He was also able to earn at the summer camp the camping merit badge. Camping is a activity we try and do as much as possible, but the camping merit badge is also significant because it is an Eagle required merit badge, and he's got it at tenderfoot, so he doesn't have to worry about that. There are 21 merit badges that you have to earn to get the Eagle Scout rank. He's got camping, so that's one down. You got 21 to go. All right, Devon, come on up here. Let me get you your just desserts. is an interesting young man as well. I really like Jalen. I think Jalen is gifted because Jalen can be having all the ruckus and all the playing and all the craziness going on, and we're constantly saying, hey, sit down, be quiet. And I'll ask a scout, what did I just say? And none of them can answer. But Jalen can answer every time. I don't know how he does that. He can be just as much ruckus as everybody else, but he's apparently having ruckus, but he keeps his ears open and he's listening. So I think he's gifted now. We just need him to focus in and stop all the ruckus. And I think, man, you will go to the moon because I think you have that kind of intellect. So you keep up the good work. Another memorable kid. I like him because he's a guy that just absorbs everything. I've already mentioned that he hears everything, but he absorbs stuff, and he's able to recite. He was tying knots. I showed him one time he was tying knots as soon as I showed him. So he's got some really good aptitude, and I'm just proud of him for his accomplishments. Unfortunately, Jalen wasn't able to attend summer camp with us this past summer, but he went last summer. And he earned the tenderfoot rank, and he's got a first aid merit badge. That's a very important merit badge if you know what first aid is all about. So if anybody cuts their finger or has a cold or something at home or falls and scrapes the knee, Jalen is equipped because he's had some formal training in first aid. Another good thing about first aid merit badge, that is an Eagle required merit badge. So you're on your way. Fishing is the other merit badge Jalen earned. Now, like we said, Eagle Scout requires 21. So Jalen, you've got one, you got 21 to go. Okay? And the fishing merit badge, that's a fun merit badge. I think you call it fishing.
We caught the biggest fish in summer camp during his fishing class for our weekend.
Awesome.
Biggest fish in the camp.
Well, that's a great thing. Jalen, come on up and get your just desserts. All right. Mr. Danebo Harry, please stand up, Danebo. Danebo is our senior scout. You can see he's senior in more than one way. He's probably the tallest person in here, except for Mr. Southern there, who actually played college basketball. So Mr. Southern has probably got you by a few inches. But Danebo is the tallest scout. He's our senior scout. If you notice his patch, he's already earned his tenderfoot, his second class, and he is a first class scout. And he's looking to go to Star in the next couple of months. And there are only 2 more ranks that he has to go before he's Eagle. So it's Star, Life, and then Eagle. So he's halfway there. He's been to several summer camps. He's earned a lot of merit badges. He did not get a chance to go to our last summer camp, but he has earned the following: emergency preparedness, that's an Eagle required merit badge. Wood carving, fishing, and climbing. Danebo also has the distinction, and this is a tall order for Danebo. Unfortunately, I don't know what to say. It's got to be difficult though, because he has 4 brothers that are Eagle Scouts. I don't know anybody else that I've ever met that has 4 brothers that are Eagle Scouts. So I have a brother that's an Eagle Scout, but I only have 1 brother that's an Eagle Scout. He has 4. So obviously, by family pressure, he's got to get Eagle Scout. So that's just his ordained duty. So Danebo, come on up and then get your reward. In fact, one of his Eagle Scout brothers is right here, Richard Harry. Richard, please stand. And Richard is an Eagle Scout. He's also a Tuskegee University graduate in engineering. He's also a member of Cal Alpha Psi. So I want to make mention of that. Now, I've been out, and I don't know how he went Kappa, but anyway, I heard it before years, but you went Catholic. So. Richard, thanks for coming.
No problem.
Dave, come on up. All right. Our next young man is he is got a lot of Troop 70 legacy in his blood. James Henderson, we call him JD. Stand up there. I don't think anybody calls him James, but his name is James Henderson. And if you're ever on campus, you might run across the newest building on campus called the James Henderson Hall. And that was named after his great-grandfather, who was one of my scout masters. So he goes way back in Troop 70 with his name. His dad is our assistant scout master, David Henderson. And David's distinction is he became an Eagle Scout as well under his dad's tutelage, who was the scout master before I was. So the Henderson family has a long, long legacy in Troop 70. Goes way back to the 50s. So we really have a hard and high mountain for you to climb, because your legacy is definitely Troop 70. So I expect you to make it all the way. James has the distinction of having more merit badges, or the most merit badges, in the troop. He and two other scouts have gotten, I think, 8 merit badges. And unfortunately, I left one of yours off of the program, but you do have it. James has earned the rank of tenderfoot. He has the fishing merit badge, first aid, that's an Eagle requirement, camping, an Eagle requirement, emergency preparedness, Eagle requirement, so you got 3. Wilderness survival, and this one here, signs, signals, and codes. I think you might be the first scout that's ever earned that. That's a merit badge that I'm not used to saying. I've never had a scout that earned those 3. So, well, that one. It's called signs, signals, and codes, and you might see people with flags, and they're able to give signals across a field or something. Well, James took that merit badge in the summer. And there's one that's missing. I think it's environmental science. It was not listed on the program, but he also earned that. And those are, I think he's got 4 Eagle required merit badges here. So you're well on your way. So keep up the good work, James, or as we call him, JD. Come on up, JD. For attending summer camp, he also got a patch that says Camp Tuskegee 2019. Congratulations. All right, our next young man is Tracy Phillips. Tracy is not here, but he plays football for Tim's, I believe. So we weren't able to contact Tracy this weekend, but Tracy earned the tenderfoot rank in the following merit badges: fishing, first aid, camping, emergency preparedness, wood carving, environmental science, and personal fitness. Our next young man is Mr. Kelvin Stevens. Kelvin, please stand. Now, Kelvin has, he's a little older than, he's not the oldest scout in the troop, but he's a little older than the rest of them. But they all joined together, except for O there, who just joined last week. But Kelvin has been in the troop as long as the rest of them, and he has a little bit more maturity. So his claim to fame is he's able to keep order. He helps us keep order, and he's a good example because everybody can be cutting up, and Kelvin may be the only one not cutting up. So we say, why don't y'all like Kelvin? So we always point him out. Kelvin was also made himself distinguished at summer camp this past summer. He actually was recognized by the entire camp. He won, Kelvin, what was that thing that you best student, basically. So in his class, he won the best student in environmental science. And at the end of summer camp, they have a big bonfire and they recognize the individuals that do the best. And Kelvin was recognized, and we were very, very proud and very unexpected because these guys are young. They're only 10-foot scouts, and they weren't even 10-foots there. But he distinguished himself at that camp, so we were very proud. In fact, the troop did an outstanding job this past summer. They've been to 2. The one before, they just were kind of getting their feet wet, trying to figure out what's what, where's this, where's that, how they're supposed to conduct themselves. But the second, they actually went and won the biggest award there, which is the hurdle. They call it the Badgie Man Relay. The Badgie Man Relay is the most coveted award at summer camp. Everybody wants it. You get to summer camp, you're talking about, I'm going to win that Badgie Man. Well, these guys, their second summer at summer camp, and none of them were even 10-foot at the time, but they came back and won that award, and they were recognized in the camp in front of the entire group. So we did a really good job, and I'm very proud of them. So give them a round of applause. Again, during that same program, Kelvin was additionally called up for that Emergency Preparedness Award. So he's just been doing a really outstanding job. He also is our #1 popcorn seller last year. So he's going to be getting some additional kudos for that at this particular recognition. He's got a patch, and he's got a little gift, which he earned by the amount of money he raised selling popcorn and nuts. And by the way, we're doing that again this year, and we're right now doing it. So anybody who wants some popcorn and nuts, Kelvin or any one of these scouts can get your order. You don't want the money now, just want to take your order, and then when the order arrives, then we collect for it. So let us know, and we'll be happy to get you some delicious popcorn, because it is. And the nuts sold even better than popcorn, so it's really good. Kelvin, come on up and get yours just a second. He also gets a patch for attending summer camp last summer. Here's a patch for his popcorn. He's the #1 seller for our troop. This was last year, 2018 popcorn sales patch. And you get a knot tying cards, which you can kind of tie your knots and look at the card and see if you try it right. And this is a nice little learning tool. So that's what you're selling the popcorn. So congratulations, Bill. Good job. Keep up the good work. Lastly, I would like to recognize the Alpha Phi Omega fraternity on Tuskegee University's campus. They actually provided some adult leadership this summer, and the young man's name was Cliff Eichelberger, and he was wonderful. He helped David quite a bit, and Cliff, there's Cliff right there. I'm just so glad he could come. When I talked to him this week, he said he had another engagement, but when he walked in the door, I said, yes, I'm so glad to see you. Cliff, I appreciate your help this summer, and you just made a tremendous difference. As we just intimated, the boys just did a tremendous job, won some awards, got recognized above and beyond everybody else, and there were probably, 300 people there? So our group was recognized above and beyond that. Thanks to gentlemen like Cliff and his fraternity, Alpha Phi Omega. Cliff, would you come up and get yours? Thank you so much. Cliff is a student at Tuskegee University, and he took out time to come with us and spend a few days under the stars with the guys this summer. So thanks a lot, Cliff. I'd like to ask my assistant scoutmaster, Mr. Davis, to come up. He's helped out tremendously during the year. In fact, Mr. Davis has helped out with all of the Eagle Scout projects we've had for the last 5-10 years. He's been instrumental in helping us build those projects, getting the projects done and completed on time. He's been an excellent guy and someone who's been a mentor to all of our scouts, And I'd like to give him a patch to recognize Camp Tuskegee. He spent a lot of time here, but he is also an Eagle Scout. Assistant Scoutmaster. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Appreciate you. And Mr. Henderson, please come up. I'd like to recognize him. This is my right hand right here, David Henderson, my Assistant Scoutmaster. He does all the work in the troop. If there's any work, he's doing it. I'm just making phone calls. So David does everything. He spends the time up at the camp with the kids, make sure they're at each class where they're supposed to be. Last year we didn't have a golf cart. They usually give us a golf cart to navigate the whole camp. The camp is big. We didn't have a golf cart, so David was doing a lot of walking. So thank goodness for his young legs. Of course, David's father was his scoutmaster, also an Eagle Scout in Troop 70. And his granddad was just instrumental in our connection with the university. So David's connection with Troop 70 is just probably larger than anybody in Tuskegee. So we really appreciate his efforts. I was going to give him some of these, but I see he's gotten some. He's got a Camp Tuskegee patch. And this is for attendance of Camp Tuskegee this past summer, 2019. And I got him a little thing they call a doohickey. And the doohickey has a little can opener on it. Put it on your key ring and opens up cans and has a little screwdriver. So hope you can use that. Thank you for all you got. Mr. Henderson has some special recognition that he would like to do, and please indulge us for a few more minutes. Thank you.
All right, how's everybody doing? All right. So last summer we went to Camp Tuskegee for summer camp, and we also went this summer. So these are the awards. These are the awards that are based on how the Scouts did that week last year and also this year. So starting with 2018, there's a few things I told the Scouts that they need to have with them at all times. So they're supposed to have a water bottle, they're supposed to have their bug spray, and a poncho, and a flashlight. And preferably that should be in a book bag. All right. So not all of them follow that advice to the T every day. But last year there was one scout who I could count on to have at least most of, if not all of his stuff at most of the time. And that was Kevin Stevens. And this award I'm calling the Be Prepared Award. So Kevin, congratulations, 2018 summer camp. Be prepared. All right. When the boys are out at summer camp, they're having fun all day and all night, or too late into the night. But in order for them to have enough energy, and the next day they need to go to sleep at night. So, and that's not always as easy enforcing that. But for the scout who did go to sleep on time and did not give me a hard time, I'm calling this the Nightlight Award. So last year's summer camp, that goes to James Henderson. All right, now the Big Daddy Award for the big award for the summer camp for last year. This is the Scout of the Week Award. So this is the scout who I felt demonstrated the scout law, the scout motto, was behaving well, did well in class, and just overall had the best week. And that scout last summer was Jayla Gallup. So Jayla. Moving on to this summer. All right, this summer, 2019, The Be Prepared Award, Scout who was prepared most of the time, or the most prepared out of the troop, was Mr. Devon Dennis. All right. The Nightlight Award, the student who went to sleep on time, most of the time, actually went to Sherman Peters, who was a scout with us. We know him as Trey, and he wasn't here, but he earned that award this year. Also, the Scout of the Week award for this summer camp was, I was very impressed with his leadership, even though he's not here, and that was Tracy. But I was very impressed with him, so I'll make sure to let him know that when we see him at meeting. All right. Now, these are non-scout, non-camp related awards that I want to recognize. This one is the most improved award. So based on from the time you started or recent history and up to right now, the scout who I feel has shown the most improvement, and I think Mr. Robinson will agree, and that is Mr. Dave O'Hara. Our current senior patrol leader. All right, and last but not least, I'm also calling this an Excellence in Scouting Award. For 2019, I want to recognize the scout who has had the best attendance in meetings and also showed the most enthusiasm. And that scout is none other than Mr. Kelvin Stevens Jr. All right. And do we have anything else?
I'd like to do one more thing. The remarks.
I'd like to recognize one young man that just started with us a couple of weeks ago, and that is Olakorde Olwallaby. Please stand, Olakorde, so everybody can see. His troop mates call him O, maybe for obvious reasons, but Olakorde is our newest member. He just joined a couple of weeks ago. You see, he's completely outfitted, and he is raring to go. And just want to give you a little bit of information about something that we were practicing yesterday with the flags. And Olakorde volunteered to call the commands. Now, I said, okay, Olakorde, go ahead. Let's see what you can do. Not only did he do it, he did it perfectly. And he did it perfectly over and over. I was just amazed. So we changed the format. So the guys who were calling, we won't call it a name, they did good too. But when Olakorde did that, I just had to say, you might have a lot of potential to do really well with the Scouts. So in 2 weeks, man, that was incredible. So good job. Keep up the good work. I'm going to turn it over to for remarks with Mr. Davis.
Thank you. I'll try to make this quick. One of the things that Mr. Robinson said is for quite a few years I worked with the Scouts on their final project. They have to start something and create a project of their own. They have to break it down, budget it, plan it, the whole thing. Usually that's kind of like this next step before they head to college and, becoming young men, latter stages of young men, almost men at that point. So I've been very proud to be able to work with them. I retired last year, so David and Mr. Robinson urged me to come in and start working with the guys on a weekly basis. I have been working to try to get my schedule together to make sure that I'm been able to do that. But I've been very proud to work with the young men. Each one of our young men have have great qualities. They do. We recognize that at this point in time in their life, they're just kind of going from the childhood stage to a little more of a stage of responsibility. And so that gives us the challenge to try to work with them on their discipline and focus and these achievements. And we want you all to recognize that each one of these achievements are very important. That's a step toward becoming a young man. We have expectations of them, and we want you all to have the same expectations of them. We can't really accomplish what we want to do in terms of getting them to the Eagle Scout level without your help. And so we ask that each one of the scouts, and we don't have one, I don't think with us as a scouting handbook. I invite you to look through that handbook to see the kinds of things that they are required to do as they move up through the ranks. I too am an Eagle Scout. This is my 50th anniversary of going to. They have a thing called the National Jamboree, where you have some 15,000 scouts or more that comes from all over the country, and I was blessed to be there when we landed on the moon for the first time. And I can't tell you how important that was to me to be amongst all of these scouts and to watch America land on the moon. And I can't tell you how important it is for these young men to go to camp, because they're around other young men that have on the same journey. And that's important, that kinship that we have. And then they're amongst those that we all, again, still have these expectations of them to achieve. And so we want you as parents to recognize those things and reinforce those things and make sure that they get to meet them. There are times when I was a scout, I didn't want to go, and my father said, "Here you go." You know? And so there are times when these young men might not want to go for whatever reasons, but they need to be here, because each meeting is important. We're sharing some part of their journey, trying to teach them something in terms of their journey toward being an Eagle Scout. We talked about the outdoors, and I'm going to finish quickly, but camping is important. Getting these guys out on their own. There's something about nature. With nature, you can't negotiate with nature. They have to learn to adapt to nature. And that's part of what we have to do as grown-ups. One of the things that we do is that we learn and we get to a certain, you go through different situations and you have to adapt to it. And so nature is one of those situations where they're not dealing with us, they're dealing with Mother Nature. And so they can't blame us for what it is, they have to learn how to adapt. So we want you all to really understand the value of getting them out, and we're planning to try to get them out more often, because that's really where they go. Finally, last part of the Scout law is reverence. And that reverence is not just religious. It's reverence to you as parents. You know, these guys, we expect them to respect you as parents, to have the reverence to you, and feel that responsibility to achieve for you. Because their achievements are actually you. And so we really appreciate that, and we are really pushing. The last thing I just want to do is, we had one young man, and there's always situations when you have some people who excel and some more than others. These are goals for the other young men. It becomes he got it, so I'm going to work to get it. And so one of the things that really impressed me was we had a young man to come to scout meeting. None of the other scouts were able to make it. And so we said, well, you know, we're just here by ourselves. Maybe we won't have scout meeting. And this young man said, no, I want to have scout meeting. And so it was just 3 of us, Mr. Robinson, this young man, and myself, and we had a great talk. Because Mr. Robinson and I and Mr. Henderson are constantly trying to find out ways to get in touch with the kids of today. You know, their vernacular, the things that get them focused. Because, you know, what drove us isn't the same thing. We didn't have the games. We didn't have a lot of these other things. And so we learned a lot during that meeting about the things that scouts are into now, the guys, and we'll try to incorporate those things into what we're trying to do. So, you know, we just felt like, you know, he was on time. He's always tried to be on time. I thought that because he chose by himself, he easily could have said no to have a meeting that we would give him a special honor. This goes to Kelvin, okay? And because you're right on time, it's a watch. So come on up and get your watch. And so this is just a honor. We expect the other young men to also achieve these honors. And so again, we thank your parents for being here. We thank the young men for giving us a challenge and us a purpose to continue. I'm 64 years old, and it feels good to be able to be in a situation where I can continue to serve and to help our young men. And so thank you so very much for coming. And we need you to be in this scouting life. I know you deal with them all the time, but this scouting life is something else. And so help us, support us, and push them. Don't let them get away with not coming to meeting. And have them to explain to you some of the things that they do when they come to scouting. And in that way, we can all reinforce this journey to become young men. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I'd like to let everybody know that I really appreciate you guys coming. I'd like to recognize, lastly, you guys have heard us say Eagle Scout. Eagle Scout this, Eagle Scout that. Well, Eagle Scout is actually the highest award that a young man can achieve in scouting. There's just a very small percentage of people that become Eagle Scouts that are involved with scouting. Scouting involves millions of kids, but only a small percentage of that number actually attains the highest rank. And we actually have some Eagle Scouts in here tonight. I'd like to recognize them. All the Eagle Scouts in the room, please stand. We appreciate our guests, and I just wanted to recognize them because once you're an Eagle Scout, you're always an Eagle Scout. You'll always be recognized. Someone will always know that this is the highest achievement, and when you do it as a kid, it's just very significant. It's really the first and most important award a kid can get. And I'm just proud of all of the ones from Troop 70. And I think we're up to about, I think we have 82 Eagle Scouts in this troop. So that's, I don't know how many troops in the state of Alabama or even in the country compare, but we're way up there. And by the way, we are the oldest continuously chartered troop in the state of Alabama. So right here in Tuskegee. So we got a lot of history and we want to keep it going. So thank you so much. And parents, I'd like to give you guys a round of applause as well. You let us have your young men every week, and we're trying to do the best job we can with them. And they're good kids, and they come with a lot, and we learn a lot. They teach us, and we teach them, and it's a journey, and I hope we're gonna end up all of them being Eagle Scouts. So we want that to happen. So we really appreciate you parents. So at this time, I think we're pretty much done. But if you'll notice on the program, we have the Scout benediction. Now we end every meeting with the Scout benediction. And it's sort of a prayer, but I'd like the gentlemen, our Scouts, to demonstrate how we end all of our meetings. Mr. Harry, would you do the honors?
May the great Scoutmaster of all the great Scouts be with us on that long trail until we meet again.
All right, folks, thank you very much for your attendance, and I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it. We do have some refreshments in the back, and please indulge, and hopefully you came hungry. Not a lot, but it's good. So, thank you very much.
All right, so that concludes our 2019 Fall Quarter Troop 70 Boy Scouts of America.